If you took a cheque account that pays daily interest and combined it with a savings account and then added a card account, you'd have our new account. An account that folds all your accounts into one.
Which account?
Australia's leading account.
For 19 years, the pinnacle of schoolboy rugby league competitions has been the Commonwealth Bank Cup.
It's all over. Fairfield Patrician Brothers. Scenes of jubilation.
440 teams started the year, and today only the final two remain.
Long cut-out ball, superb pass.
It's David against Goliath, with the 7-time Cup champion St Gregory's from Campbelltown up against Wvell State High School.
They move it back now. Hinkley cuts out one. Talbot still going for the corner. It'll lock it up and make it burn. He's there. He's there.
The final of the Commonwealth Bank Cup.
A great day for Schoolboy Rugby League today. The final of the Commonwealth Bank Cup, two tremendous sides that have really worked hard to get through to this stage.
And there's the road to the final for St Gregory's. A pretty impressive one. Going right through to probably the most important one, the Fairfield Patrician Brothers result, 36-6. They were outstanding that day. And John Paul 2, 28-10. It was a very competitive game, that one. John Paul 2 fielded a strong side, but in the end, St Gregory's did prevail. And there's the trophy. All the schools are chasing. It started a long, long time ago. Wvell State High. They've been the quiet achievers of the competition. A shock for many people, that Parramatta Marist result, the last one, 16-10. Parramatta Marist travelling to Brisbane and coming home losers, and Wvell defying the odds in many people's minds, moving through to the final. And joining us once again, our regular caller, as always, for Commonwealth Bank Cup football, the voice of Commonwealth Bank Cup football, Mark Warren. Looking forward to this.
I certainly am. And a great day indeed. This is the football machine that everyone is talking about. The might of St Gregory's College of Campbelltown. They're coached by Peter Mulholland, and their 1993 side looks like this on Cup final day. Deary, Richardson, Thompson, Dedman, Quilty, Dallas Gonzo in 6, Chris Flint in 7. Then it's Hogg, Cross, Bramley in 10. Astini, the captain, a workaholic in 11. Then Holmes and Evans will lock the scrum. St Gregory's College of Campbelltown. What a journey for Wvell, their opponents today. To come from Queensland, appropriately they do wear the maroon jerseys. And they'll probably walk on here 10 foot tall. Harristown High, as mentioned earlier, came within a whisker last year, upsetting Fairfield Patrician Brothers. But this is Wvell State High. Massive underdogs, but they'll give a great account of themselves here today. Can Wvell State High make this fairy tale a reality? The Ross Henrik coach side looks like this from fullback. It's Hodgins, Jones, Barlow, Dombrowski, Dylan, Matthews, Frederick on the other wing. Wally is the 5'8", watch him in 6. Talbot, very smart half. Then it's Slater, Wally, Swaddling, Ricky Paul, the Minister for Defence, the captain in 11. Then Swaddling and David Wotherspoon, who leads our player of the series points. It will lock the scrum for Wvell State High, and they're all pumped up. One thing that this Wvell State High do so well in the game of rugby league, they don't make mistakes with the football and are very well disciplined.
That's going to be very important as Andrew Jones, the winger for Wvell, takes the first tackle of the game. The most important thing for Wvell in this game is to start well. They don't want to make mistakes in their own territory, get a good kick away, some strong defence here from St Gregory's. That's what they are noted for, looking to force a mistake, and it won't be long before Wvell kick. That's been a good start. They've come 35 metres in 4 rucks.
And taken with the football was Michael Wally. Talbot, this is the halfback, stocky half, loves it tough. The clearing kick. First touch of the ball for the fullback Deary, who crosses the halfway. St Greg's on tackle 2. And it's with Dedman. And the referee is calling out one of the St Wavell State High players in company with his captain, Ricky Paul. Here it is.
Yes, an infringement in the play of the ball. There you see, just a little right hand thrown by the number 10, Swadling. And the first penalty, not the start they were looking for. Like a quick tap here from Chris Flint, so that's maybe an indication the breeze is fairly strong out there. They weren't prepared to take the risk of not finding touch. And on the left side of the ruck, it's Brownlee taking the ball forward inside 30.
Cross from dummy half. Now they use it for Deary. They keep it alive now. Driven towards the sideline. Superb defence from their own troops from Wavell State High.
Well, that's a cardinal sin, really, from St Gregory's there early in the tackle count. It's great defence, great driving defence there. You see 4 Wavell players involved. And that will lift their confidence. That's, if they're going to win a cup final, they must be strong defensively, and that's exactly what they were in that situation.
Be interesting to watch Evans, the lock for St Gregory's, where he'll play in attack, locking the scrum, but don't be surprised to see him lurking wide. This is the fullback. I've been impressed with him, Hodgins. He makes it over the 20-metre line. Plays it on 2. Swadling launches himself at the defence and plays it. Taking it forward now is Slater. Wally from dummy half. They use it through Talbot, and now with Wally. Both Wallies are cousins, Dean and Michael. Michael plays in the hooker position. Talbot with the kick. It's a good kick too. Deary turns around now and crosses the 20. He beats the first. Defence is good. Superb chase.
They've started well, Wavell State High. They got the kick away under pressure there. Now St Gregory's getting Richardson involved. That's one thing that St Gregory's do very well, is get their 2 wingers in. They're fine athletes. And there's a good pass to the 5'8". That's Gonzo through.
Gonzo's got plenty of toe. He crosses over the 20. Across in cover. Drags him into touch. A great tackle.
Trent Hodgins, he's come up with a try saver there. Tremendous work from St Gregory's on the fringe of the ruck. The second man pass, there it is. Straight through it. Caught the centre out, Barlow there. And he's got good speed, Gonzo. Hodgins coming across. I thought he'd nearly beaten him, but the important thing was he got him over the sideline as they win the scrum, so that relieves the pressure.
Peter, you look through these sides from 1 to 13 and you've got to look to St Greg's. This side here, they will scramble all day and they'll make you work for points, and then that was the stuff that wins grand finals.
Mark, I'm not going to overdo this underdog tag. You know, we had a look at the road to their final. They beat Parramatta Marist last week. They've beaten good sides to get here. I have not seen a side get into a Commonwealth Band Cup final not capable of winning it. Maybe the fact that they have come in underdogs, you know, they're feeling less pressure than the hot favourites out there.
Wally from dummy half now, the clearing kick from Talbot. It's a good-looking kick. I'll tell you what, bouncing towards the commentary side of the Sydney Football Stadium. Now picked up by Deary. Also a decathlete wrapped up inside his 20-metre zone. Good chase again.
Well, funnily enough, I think that was a good result for them. You don't particularly want to find touch if you can keep the ball in play and force the opposition to maybe waste a couple of tackles. St Gregory's, this is their 3rd, and they're only just outside their 20-metre line. So, Tony Ray, a fairly impressive start from both sides. Good defence early on, which is what we expect.
So St Gregory's, Evans lurking wide and coming back to the middle, busting through defenders. This big, strong lump of a lad who's already signed for 3 years with the Western Reds. Flint busts them over the 10. First points coming up in the cup final. Well, they withstood the early pressure, but St Gregory's, through sheer class, have come up with the first points of the cup final.
Yes, tremendous work there from the halfback. And this is the bust that let it up. Evans, you asked where he was going to play an attack. Well, I don't think it makes a great deal of difference because he is a handful. And that particular run set up some ordinary defence. And you'll find that it's a second rower. As we freeze it there, That's the man beaten there. His name is Samuel Swadling. He's a second rower, and unfortunately you don't want to get back rowers caught against the nippy inside backs. And that's exactly what the number 7 for Campbelltown is in Chris Flint. In between a second rower and a front rower, that's what attacking sides look for, where their speed can take advantage.
Jason Thompson, first attempt. It looks okay. Across the face of the uprights. St Gregory's 4 lead Wavell State High 0, Commonwealth Bank Cup final.
The start that Wavell were looking for obviously hasn't happened. They do look a little bit shy and physically smaller from this distance. Apart from the 2 front rowers, you would have to say that St Gregory's side is much bigger.
Just talking about their forwards, I didn't mean to be too harsh on Sam Swadling there, pointing him out as the man who missed the tackle. What I was trying to illustrate was the fact that both Sam Swadling and, I gather, his brother Jacob were the forwards who were caught out, and that's where St Gregory's are going to look to take advantage of catching the opposition out defensively with their big men.
Hogg takes it forward, and he is one of the big men. An inside ball from Holmes for Flint. He carves him again and crosses the 30. He crosses the 20 and gives it away now. Oh, superb tackle again on Daniel Cross. And it was Hodges, I believe. They continue the blind side for the corner, a try. A try for Jared Quilty. Graham West points to the ground, the terra firma. St Gregory's over again. They lead by 8 points to 0.
And the signs are ominous here. A very simple bust made up the middle here. A good inside ball, which means that there was some lazy defence from the big number 8 there, not coming across. That was a tackle that should have been made. Did well the hook here, Daniel Cross to be in support, as did Matthews Frederick to come up with the tackle. But just to have a look at the numbers there. A selective cutout pass to the winger in Jared Quilty. Only just snuck in there, but that's all you need to do. And that was a great pass out of dummy half, realising that's where they had the numbers. And he got the ball down just before the post was taken out.
Thompson. Nearly identical opposite side of the field. His first attempt. This kick looks okay. Oh, dropped short. 8 points to St Gregory's over Wavell State High. Big assignment, Tony Ray on the sideline. Wavell State High, can they come back? And what are the wind conditions down there on the sideline like?
I said before they were swirling, and if anything it is favouring St Gregory's. So I guess Wavell do have to hang in here in this first part of the first half and not let Gregory's get too far away from them. I think they look like they're in a bit of trouble. They're a little bit intimidated by the whole scene. It's a big crowd here now at the football stadium, and I guess coming all the way down from Queensland as we see another half break here made by Gregory's. The occasion may just get to Wavell. What they need to do is what they do best. Do the simple things right and get down the other end of the field.
Well, that half break there was made because the marker defence wasn't good, and probably the first place you need to start if you're having troubles defensively is get your marker defence right. As Cross throws the dummy almost straight through. The last tackle 20 metres out. They might run at the blind side. That's what they've done. Flint
this
kicks.
Kick to the in-goal area, trickles dead in goal. 22 restart, Wavell State High, some of the pressure off.
It is a nice option from Flint there, running the football to see if anything had opened up on his outside. You saw just before he kicked, there was nothing available, so yes, last tackle, let's kick, just went a little bit too far.
Ricky Paul. Now for Swadling. His brother playing in the front row. And this is him now, Jacob. 3 short of halfway. They must get back on track. Slater. Now they go inside St Greg's territory. Talbot for Wally. Now for Dombrowski. He'll play it. Dean Wally with the kick. Torpedo punt. Superb kick. Finds the line. That's the one they've been looking for.
He's measured that one with the set square, and we see that's going to give them great field position. Good kick, as you pointed out, it was a torpedo. He kept it low, which means that it was always going to skid. And that's what a rugby league ball can do. bounce the right way for you on occasions. They'd love to get one against the feed here.
There he is, Dean Wally. Several clubs chasing him. Does look a little light onto me, but superb class. He's got all the attributes of a Rugby League 5'8". Superb hands and a nice change of pace. This is Evans proving a handful. St Gregory's to the 30. One off the ruck, they travel for their captain Astini, a one-handed pass. Ball was pushed on that occasion. Wavell will get the feed. Yes, no, he's going to play the advantage. Here's an opportunity for them.
Just trying to be a little bit smart there, Daniel Cross. It was called play on as James gets out of dummy half. If he'd have dived on the football instead of trying to pick it up, play would have continued. This gives Wavell an opportunity. As Wotherspoon, who's leading the Players of the Year award for the Commonwealth Bank Cup, gets involved.
He'll stay involved, let me assure you. Talbot for Wally. No, he holds it up, then gives it to the second player, which is Barlow. Hit of a Shepherd. Wally dummy half. Dances from himself, goes himself. Thought he was going to pass.
They've got numbers to the right if they can get the ball there. They need a quick pass. No, the halfbacks decide to kick. That won't be 6 again.
They keep it alive, Peter, and they travel that way now through Wotherspoon. Through the hands of Swadling. What can Dylan Frederick Matthews do? He puts it out the back, picked up by Swadling. Referee wants the changeover.
He had the right idea there, did Andrew James. He knew it was the last tackle. A very good ball and all tackle here by Richardson. Dropped the ball back. The referee said it had gone forward. So St Gregory's centre field now, getting out of the danger territory, doing it fairly comfortably through Peter Holmes.
Hogg, met by the defence. They're coming up and meeting them. Wavell. But out wide, this is where the danger lurks. Now for Thompson. Open pastures this time for Richardson. Cut off by Talbot. Shut there. Flint continues through Gonzo.
Great job done there by Aaron Talbot. You can't continue to come up with try-saving tackles, but Talbot came up with 2 key plays there, and that was the second, taking the man over the sideline. They were under all sorts of pressure. Did a good job.
Aaron Talbot, he's a Bronco ID player. He's as tough as teak. He scored a try against Maris with a kick along the ground, a la Alan Langer.
What's a Bronco ID player?
Well, mate, I'm reading through the stats.
In his wallet, or
well, mate, I think it's what they use as their development guide. I'm just reading through the stats, Peter. He's an ID player. Take it up with Mr. Rebo.
Tony Ray, I mentioned how Wavell were very well served in the coaching department with Ross Henrik. What do you think he'd be sending out to his players now? I'm sure that he's sent some messages out with his side trailing by 8. Where's the area they need to address?
Well, what you just said then, Peter, was fairly important. They're only trailing by 8. There's only 13 minutes to go to half-time. If they can keep the situation as is and maybe get some points on before half-time, things aren't going to be too drastic. So we see some good ball movement here. What they've got to do is what they do best. I said use the big fellas, charge forward, get some field position, and just steady things down. Gregory's are on a roll. The best way to do that is roll back at them.
Wally from dummy half. The kicking game's been okay. Now Wavell are up there this time to meet Deary. 2 metres short of the 40-metre line. We've got 13 minutes left of the first half in the 93 Commonwealth Bank Cup final. The Sydney Football Stadium. Of course, the curtain raiser to the minor preliminary semi-final here this afternoon between Brisbane and Manly. Ostini picked up and play on. Wavell.
Every side likes to get a quick play the ball. Always that's a little bit too quick for St Gregory's there. Not something you see too often in the modern game. The marker, yeah, he had every right to come around there, did Brendan Barlow. And a very cheap handover of possession there to the Queensland side.
Wally unloads from dummy half. This is Wotherspoon continuing on his terrific form. The skipper, Ricky Paul, pointing way towards the try line, now in the hands of the 5'8" Dean Wally.
Looks like a smart play, this Aaron Talbot. A lovely ball there. That one hasn't found the desired man. It's the last tackle, so somebody's got to kick. Wotherspoon does that, and it won't be too bad if the chase gets through in time, which they do. Yeah, good front on defence.
Good front on defence, OK. Matthews Frederick was there in company with Dombrowski. Dombrowski makes 2 in the row with Wally in company with Ricky Paul, the Minister for Defence. High shot there. Referee says play on. From dummy half goes Richardson. Good yards. Now they're in the middle of the Sydney Football Stadium.
And that's another example of the good work done by the wingers for St Gregory's in Richardson and Quilty. They come in, take a lot of pressure off. That's good defence there front on. Should have put him on the ground though.
From dummy half, he kicks himself. Ball takes the left-hand turn. St Gregory's College of Campbelltown, they lead by 8 points to 0. At the moment, Wavell hemmed inside their danger zone, trying to get out of that red zone. This time tackled is Swaddling. Jacob, his brother, takes it forward and crosses the 30-metre line. Standing wide from the ruck is Talbot. St Gregs are up very, very quick. In fact, you'd have to question the 10 metres. On that occasion, Barlow nearly busted them.
Yeah, great tackle. Ward Dedman in 4 for St Gregory's. Well executed move that. And what about this for a kick? Metre in from touch. It's the halfback again, Talbot. He looks to be the key man orchestrating things out there. You see him there revving his players up.
Tony Ray on the sidelines. A hint that Wavell stayed high. They're starting to come back. They're organising their troops, and their kicking game has been exceptional the last 10 minutes or so.
I couldn't agree with you more, Mark, and it's very important. Before the game, we know that Gregory's did not expect to be playing Wavell in this final. Maybe they underestimated. In that case, sometimes 2 quick tries early in a game can be a side's downfall. They could be overconfident. They could come up with a couple of mistakes thinking this game's going to be a real cruiser. This is an important period for Wavell, this period now to half-time.
Is that why the North Sydney Bears went out of the competition, Tony? You didn't want to score tries early?
We're always good at coming back, Sterlo.
Cop it on the chin, Tone. Taking it forward, Bramley. Look at Talbot non-stop in attack and defence. He loves to mix it up. Now they move it.
Hurt himself there, Bramley. Still on the ground as Gonzo wrapped up in a good ball and all tackle. The big front row struggling for St Gregory's on the last tackle.
He would be a major loss. He's their real go-forward man. Drop goal. It's there, I believe. I'll tell a man it is. There's a buffer and a half. 9 points to 0. St Gregory's over Wavell State High. So they lead by 9 points to 0. A handy break on Wavell. 8 minutes out from half-time. Bramley has gone to the sideline. I believe a knee injury. There he is there receiving some attention. Flint wrapped up by Dean Wally.
Bramley's place has been taken by Chris Cartwright as the ball played ahead there. It's called play on by the referee. There's trouble on the far side, but Gonzo dummies, then offloads to Cartwright. 9 metres out, this is the last tackle.
They go the blind side with the option for Gonzo. He was met very well. Wavell came up off their line. They keep it alive through Cartwright. Now with Flint, he gets a ball out miraculously. It play on now, Wavell in possession. They withstood the pressure.
That was great defence from Wavell State High. They looked to be in trouble on the blind side of the ruck. A tremendous tackle on Gonzo. St Gregory's keeping the ball alive. But on every occasion, there was a Wavell State player there to come up with the tackle. A good pass there, trying to keep the ball alive. There's the mistake forced. They did well because they kept coming off their line, and that put pressure on the opposition, and this will help them also. A penalty for a play-the-ball infringement.
Well, now they've shown themselves, Peter, that they can contain St Gregory's for 6 tackles. It would be a tremendous confident boost.
Well, they're trailing by 9, Mark. We've got just under 7 minutes to go, and I think Tony was fairly spot on there. If they can go in still in contact, now they've got to come out. They'll have learnt something from this first half. I'm sure the coach will pick out the areas what they need to improve in. They still are getting busted too many times defensively for my liking, and if they are to win this game, I think that's really the problem that they have, is stiffening up that defence.
Matthews Frederick. Tony Ray.
Just an injury report on Kelvin Bramley. He has a muscle strain to the knee and will come back on. It's not too bad. I guess the enthusiasm of his schoolmates as they start to sing up a real storm down here on the sideline will help him overcome that pain.
Good set play there. Wotherspoon took it, Tony. He pushed the pass and gets 6 more tackles for his efforts.
Lucky that.
In behind the rucks, they've done their homework, Wavell State High. Tails in the air. Before half-time, Wotherspoon again. How many hit-ups has he had in the first half? Wally from dummy half now. This is Swadling. Now they go inside enemy territory. They're on the launching pad. Jacob Swadling, 15 short of St Greg's line. Talbot for Wally, the wrap around, set play, inside ball for Ricky Paul. He's wrapped up, centre of the stadium. Last tackle signal by Graham West. Now Swadling goes for the kick himself. St Greg's have come up with possession and Graham West will play the changeover.
Yes, West ruling a knock on there, but some highly impressive set plays from Wavell in that set of 6. Well, there's another bust almost by Chris Flynn, who got to the 20-metre line too easy. That's a knock on, but it will be a penalty. The Wavell player ruled to have pulled down the man playing the ball and let off there. But that was a great set of 6 from Wavell. I enjoyed that. They constructed some plays very well. The man lying on the ground playing the ball, he was the man that the referee ruled had been impeded.
So Deary finds the line. Player of the series here today will receive $1,000 worth of playing and leisure wear, courtesy of Deodora. Quilty tries to bust the line. Down low, Jacob Swadling. Over the top of Slater. 2 missed tackles and St Greg's can make you pay from anywhere on the park. West is calling back the Wavell troops. Now with Flint, centre of the stadium. They've got something set on the open. Astini cops a shoulder charge that did not miss. Swadling got him. He'll keep coming though, Astini. Ricky Paul now. Straight out of the Gilmeister mould. Inside the quarter-weight line. Ball thrown. Ricky Paul tries to get on it. Gonzo keeps it alive for St Greg's. Is this another goal? Upended, then ruled away. Graham West has a long, hard look at it.
It's a try.
Momentum, well, it was a great tackle, but right on the try line. In fact, has turned him over for a try. I was about to say, what a tackle.
Well, it was a great tackle, but unfortunately for Wavell, Ward Deadman was able to get his way across. It was a little bit scrappy here. This pass back inside, not finding its mark, but a beautiful ball there to keep the ball alive. Gonzo, there's Deadman. Now look at that for a tackle. Unfortunately, he turned him back towards the goal line, and in essence has put him over for the try. And you'll be able to see it from this angle very nicely. What a shame that such a crunching tackle front on in a try-saving situation that resulted in 4 points. No double movement there, he's just rolled over. Referee consulting the touch judge there. Nod of the head.
Jason Thompson, has he got this one? First of the day, it goes over. St Greg's 15 points to 0.
And Tony, we talk about in all levels of rugby league the importance of those couple of minutes before half-time and after half-time. Real danger areas, and again, points scored.
Great take from John Deary.
We've already spoken about it, especially in this game, I guess, for Wavell High, the importance of that buffer now. They need to score more than twice and convert them to win the game. It makes it a little bit more difficult.
3 defenders there for Wavell. Quilty from dummy half. Slater over the top, Talbot underneath. It all looks so well orchestrated. Flint just jumping out of tackles, weaving and dodging and splitting them. It takes his opposite to put him down, just short of the 30-metre line. Now they use it. Holmes looks, oh, again he comes up with a cruncher. Jacob Swadling, this time on Peter Holmes. They use a wide blindside. Flint puts it over the top. The chase is there from Gonzo. In goal area. Can they get out? Oh, good work. Superb work from Hodgins. Had 2 sky blue jerseys to contend with.
And nothing silly now from Wavell. That's a good run there.
from Barlow.
Yeah, great work there. There's under a minute to go. And there's the big tackle, the second we've seen in this first half from Jacob Swadling. That's fine defence, but what they need to do is stiffen up their marker defence. That's where they're having problems against them, is the middle of the ruck there.
Talbot for Dean Wally. Thought he was a little quiet against Parramatta Marist. Sensational against Keebra Park 3 matches back. Deary with the football. Tries to split the defence. He unloads a one-hander for Deadman, who's wrapped up. 8 seconds remaining. The crowd count down for St Gregory's. Cartwright through Flint. Right on the break, they use it. Gonzo towards the quarter-way line. He still keeps it alive. Manages to stay within the field of play. It's back for Flint. Is it wrapped up? He flicks it out. And now in the hands, I believe, of Peter Holmes. Peter Mulholland goes to the break. 15-0 St Gregory's and Wavell State High. Ricky Paul gets Wavell State High underway, and this is John Deary. Deary beats the first. He tries to get through the second he can't. He was wrapped up on that time by Jones. Rather, Matthews Frederick. Deadman. Scooting from dummy half now. The quick man. Over the top. The hit man. Kelvin Bramley. Standing wide, Bramley. This was Hogg. Now they swap it and come back through. Evans has split them. Open pastures. Fullback in all sorts of trouble. He unloads for the little master of this year's competition, Chris Flint, who scores right underneath the uprights of the Sydney Football Stadium. They are awesome.
That took all of 45 seconds after the resumption of play, and it was just a simple break made by Wayne Evans. Just the step there, straight through, a bad missed tackle. And look at the support coming on the inside there from Chris Flint. He could have gone the outside to another St Gregory's player, but he was in the better position, Flint. That was the missed tackle. And Evans, see the way he veers back to go back towards where the support player is. By doing that, he also committed the fullback.
Thompson right in front, no mistake. So St Gregory's College of Campbelltown, 21 lead, Wavell State High 0. $21 points to 0, St Gregory's heading towards their 8th Cup final win. And what a way for coach Peter Mulholland to leave his school, exit before he goes to the Western Reds. But that is still some time off. Wavell have plenty of resource, plenty of determination.
Speaking of the coaches, Tony Ray, it's probably a little bit of ancient history now, but were you able to ascertain what they said to their sides at half-time? I imagine Mulholland would have been fairly happy.
Well, Peter was very happy. His main comment was ball control. They control the ball, they'll control the game. He was a little bit worried about a couple of mistakes late in that first half. The players themselves were talking about do it for Peter, he deserves it. Now, obviously, they're right behind Coach Mulholland the whole way here. He's in a great position here once again with the changeover.
A Wavell mistake. Sorry, Tony, come back to you. Awful trouble for Wavell. Gonzo from dummy half. Wide for cross. They've hung in there. Replacement on in 15 is Williams for Wavell State High.
Gee, I thought there was a double movement there. I'd have a look at that later if they can hold him out here. Wavell is keep the ball alive. The fullback Deary steps out of a tackle. They won't stop him from there.
Try for Deary.
And of course that all comes back from a mistake made by the Wavell winger. The kick was put through. It was an awkward bouncing ball. And St Gregory's came up with it in great attacking position, as Tony Ray pointed out. Now let's just have a look. Oh, well, he didn't put the ball down. He was 6 inches away from a double movement, so a good decision there. And this was the next play, the cutout pass, and really just too many numbers out there. That's a bad missed tackle by Barlow. And a simple try for Deary, who's been one of the better players out there for St Gregory's.
What would you call that, Peter? The dummy double movement?
Oh, it was close, wasn't it? Then
Jason Thompson, 2 from 4. Looking at the touch judges. Up go the fluorescent green flags. St Gregory's 27 in overdrive. Wavell State High 0. Restart from Talbot. Sits up for Thompson. $27 points to 0, a long way back for Wavell State High, and St Gregory's going through the motions. At present, Gonzo querying a tackle from Talbot.
They're probably doing more than going through the motions. They've got their tails in the air. They lead by a big margin. This is the tackle here that Gonzo wasn't too happy about. That one there, no, play on. No dramas there. But I guess it's one of those situations almost that we talk about at Winfield Cup level. To win a grand final, you've probably got to have had that experience, and that was the big advantage that St Gregory's do have. They've got guys out there who played Commonwealth Bank Cup football at this level before. Wavell, they're going to be better off in the next year or two for the very fact they've been here this afternoon.
At the moment, they're hemmed inside their quarter-way line. From dummy half they run through the form of Matthews Frederick. Wally to dummy half. Swaddling beats the first. No, he doesn't. Holmes was right around the bootlaces. Replacement in 15 is Williams. Wide for Talbot, kicks in behind the line. It's heading towards the far touchline. Picked up on the run by Quilty, and then superb tackle. Hodgins has been great under pressure.
Well, it's 27-0 against them. It would have been 37 or 47 if Hodgins hadn't have been the custodian in the number 1 jersey. Not the first time we've seen him come up with a try saver.
Safe as the Commonwealth Bank.
He's done a great job out there, and that does give a side enormous confidence knowing that they have somebody as strong defensively as what Hodgins has proven himself this afternoon. I think it's about the 3rd time that we've seen him come up with a tackle that saved 4 points.
Swaddling bustling his way towards halfway. Wally to dummy half for Wavell, the maroon jerseys starting to look tight. In fact, there's a player down for Wavell. He's in all sorts of trouble at the moment. Wally steps off the left, then again and beats another one here. They're going across field though. Wally shows that there's no one there to receive. Player down there for Wavell State High, and the trainer is calling for a replacement as we speak. Dombrowski with the headgear on, flirting with this near touchline. Referee has called timeout.
Yeah, he's appeared to be in a fair bit of trouble up there, grabbing up around the head area. And there's the new Medicab, which is a great innovation being introduced by the hierarchy of the rugby league, and they need to be applauded for that. Something that's operated in America, and the Australian or the American gridiron does a tremendous job over there, and about time that we've introduced it into our game.
We've got 21 and a half minutes left of the Cup final of 93. The player down was Wotherspoon. He immediately throws himself back into the fray. He put a kick along the ground that didn't come off as he wanted. Ricky Paul makes the tackle on Flynn. From dummy half runs Lott. Paul makes the tackle. They're on the quarter-way line. West is calling back the Wavell defence. Thompson runs from dummy half. Probably one more and they'll get out of here. Bramley sticks out the arm and then looks to offload and holds it back.
Good to see that Bramley is back on the field. He left during the first half with a knee injury. It's a good tackle there from Wotherspoon.
Cross at dummy half, back for the clearing kick. Dallas Gonzo already signed up with the Canterbury Bankstown club. Hodgins has had an enormous game for Wavell. Back in the fullback position. Travels across the ground, but St Greg's just drag him towards the far touchline at the Sydney Football Stadium. Matthew Dillon's Frederick plays it. Swaddling puts out the left arm. Can't beat the second line of defence. Cross was there. Wally looks to the open, turns the blind for Wotherspoon.
Tony Ray, tremendous talent out there. Understandable that chief executive's keen to sign these players up, even on the Wavell High side who are trailing. guys who look like they could go into grade very easily. This is their best attacking raid now. The kick through, will he have the speed? I don't think so, well cleaned up there. But it continues to be a great junior nursery, Tony.
Yes, it does, Peter. I guess when you look at this side, it's hard to single out particular individuals that are strong. Peter Mulholland does rate them a very good side overall that can compete well as 13 guys, not as individuals. The fullback Deary caught my eye with that stepping run. He looks quite sharp. And Wayne Evans, he's an Australian schoolboys lock, and he's showing a lot of class, offloading some nice balls as well around the ruck.
Leah saw probably Wavell's best play in the second half there, and they've got one against the feet. Wotherspoon the blind. This is a chance, Mark.
Swaddling from dummy half. Good leg drive. He's a metre short. Wally from dummy half. Ricky Paul, the captain. On 3. They've got their back line set. They take one more. Now they'll want to use it from dummy half. They've used up too many.
Well, I think the blind side's the go. They've got only 2 players there.
Looks that way now, Peter.
But it was too late. They had to go there earlier. They're keeping it alive. It is the last.
Through the hands of Wally. Now away. The replacement in 15 is Williams, and the changeover. On reflection.
Very smart play there from Ward Gedman. Not worrying too much about how the tackle was affected, just making sure that the ball was stopped. But they wasted a couple of tackles there, did Wavell. They finally went the side that they had the numbers on, but they went there a tackle or two too late.
So St Gregory's, nice ball for Evans. Defence equal to the task. Astini, the captain, taking the hard yards, working the blind for Flint. It's a nice looking kick. It's too deep, too wide. From here where I'm sitting, it looked like it was going to be beautiful.
Yeah, it was a lovely looking kick. It was about 27 metres too wide.
Exaggeration, Peter.
Oh, he did hit it nicely, Marky, you were right. Unfortunately for St Gregory's, they do come back and Wavell. I think everybody at the ground here would like them to put some points on the board. They had a tremendous opportunity only moments ago. And they are starting to get a little bit of possession now as Jones comes in, takes the pass from the scrum.
7 metres. Wotherspoon spins in the tackle. Cartwright on, Holmes off. Swaddling takes it forward. Back into St Greg's territory. 17.5 minutes left. Nice face ball on this occasion for Barlow. It was thrown from Wally. Back it comes now for Wally, for Talbot, and Talbot tries to cut out a play. He does so. The player can't take it on the bounce, and now St Greg's with a chance with the football through Dallas Gonzo. Chris Cartwright. Tackle affected, he gets up, the referee says no marker, play on. Cross. Hogg, there's 4 players there to meet him. Chris Flint goes to the defensive line, tries to get on the outside of Wally and Cartuso. Cross for Deary, high ball. The testing material. Dylan Matthews-Frederick has coughed it up. Now Wavell prepared to use it wide through Wally. Well, Peter Mulholland, a very proud coach, but I don't think he'd like to win it under these circumstances, and I think he'll go as well. The 15, the replacement, Chris Lott, has come in and said, I'll have a piece of the action. No, it's not.
Yeah, that's Astini there with him.
Astini's with him, the captain.
It was a swing, aren't it? You know, these guys, they've got to keep their cool now. The game has got out of hand. It'll be a penalty only, fortunately. Let's have a look at this. Well, he's missed, and I think it was just a fairly clumsy effort as Wavell take the quick tap.
Well, St Greg's don't want to lower themselves here. We've been full of praise from Wavell from the start of this game.
Well, Mark, I'm not going to bag either side to the extent that both teams have got to settle down now. They've got 12 minutes of football left. They're on national television, the biggest game of their lives. Now they want to get back and just show what they are capable of with the football in their hands. Good kick through. He might get to this one, the chase. Oh, just touched by Deary.
Grasped at it, he thought he could set sail. one player that has kept right out of this and has really had an outstanding game. Non-stop effort again is Wotherspoon for Wavell State High.
Well, he's played great, and I was also going to say that I'm never going to write off a Queensland team that's got a guy called Wally at 5'8". When he led the charge there, but Wotherspoon, especially his work since going down injured, has been great. He's been involved.
11 on 11, the Commonwealth Bank Cup final has been reduced to. Let's talk about the good football. St Greg's have had an outstanding year. Wotherspoon takes it to within 11 metres of the line. They use what they have, and this is Swaddling. They've got a very wide blind. Talbot switches to the open. They use Wally on the blind. He stands in the tackle. Wotherspoon dances back. That ball looked forward. Play on, says the referee. Talbot off the ground. This time in the hands of Slater. He turns and passes it back. And this time Deary comes up with it for St Gregory's. Well, you'd have to say before this incident, Peter, I was going to ask the question, are there any weaknesses in this side from St Gregory's?
Well, it's, you know, they've proven themselves to be the best side against 444 teams we started with who all had talent. I think the most outstanding thing is the combination that they have out there. They've got good, clever inside backs who know when to throw the football. They've got big forwards, plenty of speed out wide. There's a knock on there. Dummy half, one of the rare mistakes from Daniel Cross.
27 points to nil inside the last 10 minutes of play, and down to 11 men apiece. 4 players sent off in an unsavoury incident just 5 minutes ago. Talbot, an inside ball for Paul. Now with Wally. They use it for Wotherspoon. Last tackle signalled by referee Graham West. Dean Wally trying to get on the outside of a man. Talbot lets one go. Hodgins now for Wally. Dummington goes himself. Will he get there? He wants it so badly. Well, he stretched out and said, why can't that arm be a foot longer?
And Wally has appealed that it was the St Gregory's player who've actually knocked on the ball there. Just held by the jersey. He probably had some right to say that was the case.
What an honour roll it has been for St Gregory's College of Campbelltown. Their cup final victory started back in 1979. And from day one, Peter Mulholland has been with them. A great acquisition for the school as a whole. So this is Andrew Jones for Wavell State High, taken by Gonzo. Wavell through Paul, stands in the tackle. Here's a chance for Dylan Matthews-Frederick. He gets there. Wavell are on the board. They've kept plugging away to their credit. This young man has been very good in defence and attack. Sound.
There's not much of him, but what he's done out there this afternoon has been quality work. Good hit up there by Paul and an offload, and just a little bit lazy there, the St Gregory's defence in coming across. Showed good speed off the mark, did Matthews-Frederick. He's probably featured more in defence out there this afternoon, but he shows that he's a good finisher, and it's nice to see that Wavell do get on the board, 27 points to 4.
Ricky Paul, the captain. Up go the flags. Ricky Paul comes back to halfway. Wotherspoon. How many times in this competition have we seen him cart the football up? Well, a penalty here. Now, I didn't even see that as a spear tackle, and that's what he's awarded it for. Maybe the replay will show me that I'm wrong. But it was a fairly weak attempt at one. Well, yeah, I'm wrong.
Well, the referees these days are very quick to get in and penalise anything where the player is lifted. And although that tackle wasn't completed, I guess it was getting into a dangerous stage.
Wotherspoon. Outstanding again. Michael Wally from dummy half. Williams is in 15. 5.5 minutes left to go in the 93 Cup final, and Slater, rather swaddling, makes the mistake and immediately puts the tackle on. Gonzo, who is bleeding from the nose. Now,
well, again, okay, there might be a replay coming up shortly here, but I didn't think there was too much to it, as Swaddling has called out. But
bleeding profusely. Just looking at yours, actually, Peter.
Oh, Mark Warren, MD.
Samuel Swaddling, the perpetrator. So things have certainly spiced up in the second half of the Cup final. 19th year. The Commonwealth Bank has proudly been associated with this tremendous competition. As mentioned earlier, 444 sides, right down to the wire. They've caused the upset of the year, Wavell State High, with their 16-10 win over Parramatta Marist Brothers. And it really was a courageous performance. 22ers on the field for St Gregory's, which is Boothroyd. St Gregory's not happy with the scoreboard. They want more. Now they use it. Along the ground, slight hint of a knock-on scrum will go down. 15 out from Wavell's line. They'll get the feed.
And that's great work from Peter Mulholland to get as many of his players out there to savour this moment for St Gregory's. You don't win a final like this unless you've got a big squad and a talented squad, and he probably hasn't had the opportunity throughout the season to get his players on there as often as he would like. Leading by 21 points in a final. It's great to see that they're all getting out there and tasting some of this action.
I really did think JP2 of Marion were going to put it to St Greg's. You called that game, Peter. It just didn't come off that way, and we had people like Brad Drew and Phil Howlett, both with first-grade experience, Craig Fear and the like, a very talented schoolboy side, but St Greg's, they disposed of them in military-type fashion.
Well, both of these sides have beaten good teams to get here, and that's why they're playing in a cup final. You know, there are a lot of sides who you looked at and said, well, gee, there is some talent here. They may have the capabilities of going on, but these two teams proved to be the best. And on this afternoon's performance, St Gregory's have shown themselves to be a cut above the opposition throughout this season.
Talbot now, taking it to the defensive line, the ad line, and then kicking. Deary wrapped up by Williams underneath. Matthews Frederick was over the top. Quilty, a try scorer for St Greg's. Strides ahead, pumping the big Pistons. Now they use it. Astini standing wide. Evans, can he get away from Wotherspoon? He can't. He really has been the fix-it man for Wavell State High. That occasion, although Evans is playing with 13, has signed with the Reds as a centre, and Wotherspoon was able one-on-one to get the job done. 17 on the field is Brett Henrick. Matthews Frederick picked up, hoisted. Wally puts one along the ground. Swaddling. .16 on. Let's go to Tony Ray. This is Wotherspoon. Wally on the last. Now for Talbot. The wrap with Wally. Loose pass. Dillon takes it, throws one away. And that's exactly what he did, throw it away. Chris Lott comes up with possession for St Gregory's College of Campbelltown. Boothroyd from dummy half for St Greg's. The score could have been a lot more if it hadn't been for the fullback, Trent Hodgins, for Wavell State High. This is Boothroyd here, taking it up, carting the football, and the ball comes loose. The referee has given the penalty with St Greg's for stealing the football in the tackle. Cross with the restart. Boothroyd comes in off his wing, straightens. Nearly goes straight through them too. Wavell now have to endure. We go inside the last 10 seconds. Then have they got one more left in them? Lloyd plays it for St Greg's. Now Wavell in possession. It's all over. It's all over. There's the siren. St Gregory's College of Campbelltown resounding victors. 27 points to 6 over Wavell State High, who did very well to get to this stage. But today they met their match in a big way.
And there's the victorious St Gregory side from Campbelltown. They've done a great job out there. A big win for them, 27 points to 6 over Wavell State High. A tremendous performance. They did prove themselves to be the premier side in schoolboy football this year. Peter Mulholland, what a way for him to go into Winfield Cup coaching, joining the Western Reds in a couple of seasons. And he's done a great job with the players out there. Their reputation continues. As we leave you from the Sydney Football Stadium, they're the victors.